Shana Tova, and welcome all to our contemporary service this morning. I'm student Rabbi Leah Nussbaum, and I have the honor of sharing this service with our wonderful cantorial soloist, Eva Regan, and our excellent musicians, Greg Herman, Joel Katzner, and Scott McNitt. While our high holidays are looking very different in this strange and unprecedented time, we have our ancient and modern Rosh Hashana and high holiday traditions that have prepared us to respond. While we aren't together physically, we can still sing together in spirit and uphold values and ideas that can help push us forward into a new path and a new year. So I invite you to find a nice spot to sit and be in your home, and to sing and speak along to the words in front of you as you are able and comfortable. We begin our service singing Ma Tovu. Everyone must have two pockets. In the right pocket, one should place the words, "For my sake was the world created," and in the left, "I am but dust and ashes."
Neshama Precious above all is the soul within me, a spark of childhood innocence, curious, hopeful, loving, and good. Whatever I've done, wherever I've gone wrong, however I've been hurt, I know its light still shines. May I return and reconnect with the part of me that belongs to you, my divine core, eternal, incorruptible.
Baruch atah Adonai, asher beyado nefesh kol chai, v'ruach kol basar ish. Our sovereign God, source of holiness and greatness, may your name be praised forever in this world and beyond. Eternal One, God of our mothers and our fathers, your strength, sanctity, glory, and dominion are deserving of song, praise, poetry, hymn, sacred chants, and blessings of thankfulness for all time and eternity. Baruch atah Adonai, El Melech Gadol Batishbachot, El Hahodaot, Adon Haniflaot, Habocher B'Shirei Zimra, Melech Elchei Ha'olamim.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash Rabba, v'yalma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, v'adalav izman kariv, v'yimeru amen. Yehei Shemei Rabba, mevarach, le'olam u'almei almaya yitbarach. Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yitraman v'yinaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, shamei d'kudesha b'richu, le'ela u'le'ela, min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran v'yalma, v'yimmeru amen.
Please rise as you are able for the Baruch Hu, our call to worship.
Baruch Hu et Adonai, Hamevorach, Baruch Adonai.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uberei choshech, oseh shalom uberei atakol. Or olam beotzar chayim, orot me'ofel amar vayehi. Hameir la'aretz v'ladarim, aleha berachamim, uvtuvo mechadesh bechol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reshit. Ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai, kulam bechokma asita mala ha'aretz kinyanecha. Titbarach Adonai Eloheinu, al shevach ma'aseh yadecha, Ba'al me'orei or sha'asita yafa'arucha selah. Or chadash al Zion ta'ir, beniskeh chulanu mehera le'oro. May you shine a new light on Zion, and may we soon be privileged to share in that light. Baruch atah Adonai, yotzer hame'orot. Our praise to you, Adonai, creator of the cosmic lights.
Bring us peace from the four corners of the earth. Lead us with upright pride to the land that is ours. For you are a God of miracles and wonders. From all the peoples of the earth you sought us out and brought us near to your great enduring truth. So with love we acknowledge and proclaim that you are one.
Baruch atah Adonai, habocher be'amo Yisrael ba'ahava.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Vaed.
You may be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
Remember the stories of slavery, and you will never stop working for freedom. Remember their fear at the edge of the sea, and self-doubt will never defeat you. Remember when desperation turned to celebration, and you will never let go of hope. Remember the words of the Baal Shem Tov. Forgetfulness leads to exile. Remembrance is the secret of redemption.
מי כמוך בעלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. שירה חדשה שבחרו גאולים לשמך על שפת הים, יחד כולם הודובים להו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
Sor Yisrael, Kuma be'ezrat Yisrael, Ufte chinumecha, Yehuda ve'Yisrael. Go Aleinu, Adonai Tzavaot Shemo, Kadosh Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Please rise in body or in spirit for the tefillah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibur v'Hanora Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim B'konei HaKol Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Yemahot Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem Lema'an Shmo Ba'ahava Zochreinu l'chaim l'chafetz b'chaim v'chodbenu b'sefer ha'chaim Zochreinu l'chaim l'chafetz b'chaim v'chodbenu b'sefer ha'chaim Lemancha 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 Elohim Chaim Melech Ozer Moshiach Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ezra Tzara Atah Gibur le'olam Adonai Mechaye hakol atah Rav lo Shia Morid hatal Mechalkel chaim b'chesed Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim Somech noflim v'rofech olim Umatir asurim Umakayem emunato Lishenei afar Micha mocha ba'al givrot Umidom elach Melech mimit umachaye Umatzmiach Yeshua Micha mocha avarachamim Zocher yitzurav lechayim Barachamim V'ne'eman atah L'chayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai Mechaye hakol
You may be seated. The places we turn when bad things happen to us and we're in need of support is different for everyone and every situation. Sometimes we turn to a parent or a loved one for help or advice. Sometimes we reflect on our past and see what we could do better in our future. Sometimes we just feel like turning to God, praying that things will get better. Our next prayer, Unatane Tokef, emphasizes that while we don't know what the future will bring us, we have all the tools in our tool belt to cope with the tough stuff that might get us down.
Unetane tokev kedushat hayom ki hu nora vayom uvotina תעשה מלכותך ויקום בחסד כיסאך ותשב עליו באמת.
Unatane Tokef. Let us embrace the day and its holiness. Let this day recall your power and ours. Let it remind us of our promises kept and broken, as we remind you of yours. Let this day be a throne of forgiveness, for today we are the accountants of our souls, the navigators of our hearts, seeking wholeness and new direction. And we seek you through the signs of your presence. I make this covenant not with you alone, but with those who are standing here with us this day and with those who are not. God of past, present, and future, you are with our mothers and fathers. Be with us as well.
rosh hashana yikatevun uvyom som kippur yechatemun rosh hashana yikatevun uvyom som kippur yechatemun.
On Rosh Hashanah, this is written. On the fast of Yom Kippur, this is sealed. Uteshuva, utefila, utsedaka, ma'avirin et roa hagazera. But through the return to the right path, through prayer and righteous giving, we can transcend the harshness of the decree. Please rise in body or in spirit for the Kedusha.
נקדש את שמך בעולם כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום ככתוב היה נביאך וקרא זה אל זה ואמר קדוש 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 אדוני Avinu Malkeinu Umoshienu Vehu Yashmienu Berachamav Leinei Kol Chai Ani Adonai Elohechem Yimloch Adonai Leolam Elohim ולנצח נצחים קדושת חנקדיש ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני המלך הקדוש
You may be seated.
So in your holiness,
Give your people the gift of honor.
bless with praise those who praise you.
Bless with hope those who seek you.
Give your believers a basis for faith,
True happiness for the land of Israel.
true joy in Jerusalem.
May the spark of David, your servant,
Soon grow bright enough for us to see,
a beam of light in the darkness.
a promise of perfection.
You are holy. Your name is Ah. There is nothing divine beyond you. As the prophet Isaiah taught, the source of all might is exalted through justice, the God of holiness made holy through righteousness. Baruch atah Adonai, HaMelech HaKadosh. Our God and God of the generations before us, may a memory of us ascend and come before you. May it be heard and seen by you, winning your favor and reaching your awareness, together with the memory of our ancestors, the memory of your sacred city, Jerusalem, and the memory of your people, the family of Israel. May we be remembered for safety, well-being, and favor, for love and compassion, for life and for peace on this day of remembrance. We will now begin our shofar service, beginning with a blessing. Please rise in body or in spirit. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lishmoa kol shofar. Source of blessing, eternal our God, you fill the universe with majestic might, summoning us to hear the sound of the shofar. Please rise in body or in spirit.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Tekiah. Shavarim Teruah. Tekiah. Tekiah. Shavarim. Tekiah. Tekiah. Teruah. Tekiah. You may be seated.
Areshet Sefatenu Yerav Lefanecha Eoram Benisa. Areshet Sefatenu Yerav Lefanecha Eoram Benisa. Mevinu Ma'azik Mevitu Makshi L'kol Tekiyatenu Utkaveh Berachamim Berachamim Uratzon Seder Shofotenu.
Baruch atah Adonai, melech al kol haaretz, mekadesh Yisrael b'yom hazikaron. Our praise to you, Eternal One, whose power pervades all the earth. You bring holiness to the people of Israel and to this day of remembrance. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu be'amcha Yisrael, u'tefilatam be'ahava, tekabel beratzon, u'tehi l'ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha. El karov l'chol karav, hinei el abadecha bechonenu, shefoch ruchacha aleinu, v'techazana einenu b'shuvacha l'tzion berachamim. Divine One, close to all who call upon you, bring your grace and presence near to those who serve you. Pour forth your Spirit on us, and may our eyes see your merciful return to Zion. Baruch atah Adonai, hamachazir shechinato l'tzion. Blessed are you whose divine presence is felt again in Zion. Giver of life and all good gifts, grant us also wisdom to use only what we need, courage to trust your bounty, imagination to preserve our resources, determination to deny frivolous excess, and inspiration to sustain through temptation. In the Torah, God instructed Moses to give the priestly blessing to Aaron and his sons, whose hands are the future of the Jewish people. We share this blessing with you to remind us that in our hands, with God or a higher power beside and within us, is our future.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May you know God's blessings of shelter and care. May it be so. May you receive the light of God's kindness and grace. May it be so. May you see God's favor and goodness, and may you partake of God's peace. May it be so. We continue with singing Sim Shalom.
Sim shalom, tova urecha. Sim shalom, tova urecha. Sim shalom. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Tova uvracha.
We pause for a moment of silent prayer and reflection.
Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, Ve'imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom Berama, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, Ve'imru, Amen. Ve'imru, Amen.
Last year, I stood before you and offered my thoughts on the concept of transition. We were preparing for the retirement of Rabbi Katz and the changes that are associated with a new senior rabbi. Rabbi Till's move to senior rabbi, along with shifts in congregational and Jewish community demographics, presented us with a wonderful opportunity to reimagine who we are as a Reformed Jewish congregation. As we head into our new year, I would like to share where our unique transition process has taken us and where we are looking to go in the future, all with a keen focus on continuing to make the necessary decisions to meet the changing needs of our congregants. Last fall, we participated in the Union for Reform Judaism Congregational Assessment and Benchmarking Project. 318 of our congregants responded to the email invite and answered a series of questions assessing their connection to and perspective on Temple Sinai. In response to the question, would you recommend Temple Sinai to friends and family, 93% of our respondents said yes. This is a powerful testament to all that is positive and meaningful about our congregants' connection to Temple Sinai. 75% of respondents said yes when asked, are you forming or have you formed meaningful relationships through Temple Sinai programming? Another extremely positive statistic that we can all feel proud of. And yet, as neither of these questions were answered 100% in the affirmative, we know that we still have work to do in successfully engaging you, our congregants, in the various facets of Temple life. To that end, here are a few conversations that are either already taking place or are about to begin that will challenge us as a congregation to, one, honestly assess past policy, procedure, and programming. Two, monitor any tendency to say, but this is how we have always done things at Temple Sinai. And three, embrace new perspectives, models, and practices that honor the current forces that impact congregational life. Your Board of Trustees is fully engaged in assessing the most up-to-date thinking within the larger Reformed Jewish community on what we all know is a difficult and somewhat uncomfortable topic for many: each congregant or congregant family's commitment to the financial health of Temple Sinai. One could make a cogent argument that for many generations, the traditional dues model has been successful in sustaining congregations. There are, however, some promising new models that move the conversation away from dues or adjusted dues, or a conversation that for some has always felt somewhat transactional, to one that is grounded in a more philanthropic perspective. The word philanthropy comes from the Greek, roughly translating to loving humankind. A more philanthropic approach to this topic is relationship-based. It is predicated on making, honoring, and maintaining our relationship with each congregant, ensuring that they have the opportunity to identify their unique connection to Temple Sinai, and in return, Temple Sinai regularly communicates back how much we value each member of our community and the support they voluntarily choose to provide. More to come on this topic over the next few months. Temple Sinai has always taken great pride on the quality of the Jewish education that we provide for our children, under the leadership of Alana Dar and Pauline Rosenberg, and benefiting from the compassion, skills, and amazing creativity of our teachers. Our school plays a key role in the transmission of Jewish values, morals, and rituals. And yet, At this time, when we are asking some very big, how are we doing questions, temple-wide, we want to bring a similar lens to our school. At the conclusion of this High Holy Day period, a task force will be created to identify all that we continue to do well, along with making recommendations to the board regarding possible new education models, curriculum, and structures. I look forward to the outcome of this crucially important conversation. When I last stood up here talking with you about transition, I had no idea that we would have the opportunity to participate in one of the most profoundly important and complex transitional conversations of our time, our move to a society that truly, and with action, addresses the issues of social inequity, social injustice, and systemic racism. Who knows better than us the impact and potential outcome of being deemed as the marginalized other? Our obligation is not to simply be in the conversation, but to lead the conversation. Your Temple Sinai Social Action Committee has been hard at work in this area, laying out a full calendar of thought-provoking and educational events that are open to all congregants. If you are interested in becoming more involved in any of our social action initiatives, please call the office or speak to any committee member. Found firmly under the heading of necessity is the mother of invention, our congregational move onto the Zoom platform, while never a full replacement for praying and learning together in person, has ushered us into an exploration of the potential role of technology in keeping us connected. This important dialogue will continue into the future as we identify aspects of congregational life and ritual practice where an online presence not only makes sense, but extends and enhances how we interact with our congregation. This past August 29th, our second lay-led service of the summer took place on Zoom that included 75 congregants participating in a meaningful, creative, and multi-generational Shabbat experience that was both inspiring and tear-inducing. For those that were in attendance, I'm sure you would agree that this service was not only a deeply spiritual experience, but could be easily viewed as an absolute work of art that would not be duplicatable if we were all physically in the sanctuary. I look forward to our continued exploration of how best to utilize a combination of in-person and technology-based ritual practice, social programming, and learning experiences. I thank you all for your flexibility, sensitivity, and understanding regarding our decision to close our building due to COVID-19. We will continue to take steps to honor the physical health of you, our congregants, while at the same time eagerly anticipating the day that we can again come together to enjoy the serenity of our beautiful sanctuary, the physical presence of each other, and the energy of communal prayer. And at the top of my list would be to once again be able to bite into a piece of Bernice's challah. Lastly, I would be remiss if I did not ask you to join me in sending along a message of thanks and deep appreciation to Rabbi Till and Cantor Braun. It is next to impossible to describe the amount of work, creativity, and time required to create this year's High Holy Day experience in the middle of a global pandemic that has turned our world upside down. We are blessed to be led by these two amazing women. As always, I invite you to give me a call to share your thoughts, suggestions, concerns, and ideas. Our building is closed, but the compassionate and vibrant community that is Temple Sinai is open. We are here for you. Let us know what you need. Carol and I and our entire family wish you a Shana Tova.
We call God our Avinu Malkeinu, our almighty and merciful parent, to bring healing to the ill, to remember our goodness, to hear and have compassion on us, and to renew us. Please rise as you are able as we recite the words of Avinu Malkeinu in English and then in Hebrew. Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, hear our voice. Avinu Malkeinu, we have strayed and sinned before you. Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and our families. Avinu Malkeinu, halt the onslaught of sickness, violence, and hunger. Avinu Malkeinu, halt the reign of those who cause pain and terror. Avinu Malkeinu, enter our names in the book of lives well lived. Avinu Malkeinu, renew for us a year of goodness. Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, answer us with grace, for our deeds are wanting. Save us through acts of justice and love.
Avinu Malkeinu, Chanenu v'Haneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chanenu v'Haneinu, Ki ein banu masim. Aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed. Aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chanenu v'Haneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chanenu v'Haneinu, Ki ein banu masim.
You may be seated, and I'd like to take a moment to invite you to join us in studying Torah and reading Torah 2 o'clock today online. I hope to see many of you there. This is a story called Finding God. Once there was a girl who asked questions. From the time she was very young, she questioned everyone about everything. She began asking about small things, but by the time she was a young woman, she sought the biggest answers of all. But there was no one in her small village who could answer them. "You must go and see the Rebbe," her parents told her. The Rebbe was a great teacher. He knew the answers to the biggest of questions, even the secrets of God. So, with a loving hug, her parents sent her on her way. Upon meeting the Rebbe, she pleaded, "Great Rebbe, please teach me about God. I want to learn the secrets of God." The Rebbe stared at her face for some time and at last responded, "I will teach you, but tell me, do you have a place to stay?" "A place to stay?" the girl asked. "I don't need a place to stay. I want to master the secrets of God." "Yes, of course. But go and find a place to stay. Then you'll learn the secrets." While she wasn't happy about the delay, she knew she needed to do what he said. She searched for an inn, a room, even a spare bed, but found nothing available. She would have to build a place for herself. She didn't know if she could do it, since she'd never built anything before, but she knew she must try, for only then would the Rebbe share his secrets. It really wasn't easy, but she persisted. Finally, she had built herself a home. It wasn't big, it wasn't pretty, but it was cozy and warm, and it was hers. So she returned to the Rebbe. "Rebbe, I built myself a home. I would have never believed I could do such a thing, but I mastered the skills, and now I have a home. Now please, teach me the secrets of God." The Rebbe looked into the girl's face for some time. Finally, he said, "Of course. But first, tell me, do you have a job?" "A job?" the girl asked. "No, I came to learn the secrets. I have no need for a job." "Soon you will know. Go and find a job, and then we'll have plenty of time to learn together." The girl left the Rebbe. She knew she must obey her wise teacher if she ever hoped to learn the secrets of God. So she looked for a job. The village baker needed an apprentice, so she offered herself. She had never worked so hard in her life, such long hours, but she learned. She learned how to turn flour and water into fine loaves of bread and cakes. She learned the joy of serving her neighbors, and when she had mastered the trade, the village baker made her into a partner. On that day, the girl returned to the Rebbe. "Rebbe, you told me to find a place to stay, so I built a home. You told me to get a job, so I learned to bake. Look, I've brought you some bread. Now, please share with me the secrets, as I've waited so long to hear." The Rebbe looked at the girl's face. Finally, he said, "Have you found in your life a deep friendship, a partner, or someone you cherish and love?" "Why should I do that?" she asked. "I came to learn the secrets of God, not to find someone to love." She was frustrated, but what could she do? In the town was someone she really liked, and she suspected they liked her back. They had picnics together. They talked about their dreams. In her whole life, she had never known she could love someone so much. They decided to be together forever and built a family together. She returned to the Rebbe. "Rebbe, you told me to find a place to live, so I built a home. You told me to find a job, so I learned a trade. You asked me to find a best friend or a soulmate, someone to love, and I did just that. Now please teach me the secrets of God." The Rebbe stared into her face. "Not yet. You're not ready yet." "But what else do you require?" she cried. "What else?" "Soon you will know." And with that, the Rebbe turned back to his books. Soon after, a messenger came from the girl's village with an urgent message. Her grandfather was ill, and she was needed at once. She rushed home, finding her grandfather weary and sick. She sat with her grandfather, and they talked, sharing all that life had taught them. And when the grandfather realized that his granddaughter had grown into a woman, learned and wise, he smiled weakly, fell asleep, and peacefully died with his granddaughter beside him. She cried with a sadness she had never felt before. She loved her grandfather and missed him so much. She knew no way to escape her loneliness and pain. She asked herself how she could ever feel good again, how she could ever find her way back to life. But as the days went by, sweet memories of her grandfather replaced some of her pain, and she found the way back to life, to her family, to her happiness, and to the Rebbe. "Great Rebbe," she declared, "I loved my grandfather so much. I never thought I could say goodbye. I never thought I could ever overcome my sadness and pain. But my grandfather taught me to love life as he did, and so I have found a way to remember him and yet feel happy. Am I ready now to share the secrets of God?" "Yes, my friend," he replied. "Now you are ready to hear the secrets." The Rebbe took a deep breath. He stood and walked to the window. He stared at the sunset outside. "You came here years ago looking for God outside yourself, far away up in the universe. But the best place to find God is within, in your ability to grow, to learn, to build, to produce, to love, to share, to care, and to overcome life's pain. You need no more secrets. You have already found the God you came looking for. My friend, you already know the secrets." The girl listened to every word. She knew the Rebbe was right. Had she heard these words years before, when she first arrived, she would have slammed her fist down in frustration. But now, having done all the Rebbe had asked, having built a home and made a living, loved her partner, cared for her family, and said goodbye to her grandfather, she knew in her heart that the Rebbe was right. All the secrets she needed were hers already. The girl remained the Rebbe's student and disciple for many years. And when the Rebbe was old and in need of rest, he turned to the girl and appointed her Rebbe in his place. The new Rebbe humbly assumed her position. Soon her reputation had spread far and wide throughout the land. The new Rebbe was wise beyond compare. She knew all the answers to all the questions. She could answer even the biggest of questions. She knew the secrets of God. People came from all over seeking the Rebbe's wisdom, and when any young person would come and say to the Rebbe, "Teach me, please, the secrets of God," the Rebbe would look into their face for a long while and then reply, "Do you have a place to stay? Go, find a place. Then I'll share the secrets with you." This year has been a unique and challenging year for many of us. This Rosh Hashanah, we can reflect on the moments of learning we've had and what we hope for in the year to come. While we might not know every answer to our questions right away, all of our life experiences, good and bad, allow us to learn new things about ourselves and about life's meaning. Now I want to invite you to think about and even write or share an hour later, what's an important way that you have changed this year? And how do you think you might be different by next year? As we turn to our Aleinu prayer, we think about what is upon us, whether it be facing new changes or trying something new, working on being kind and standing up for others, or learning all that we can. I invite you to rise in body and spirit for the Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגבהי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום בהשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחתנו. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. Our community is in mourning after the recent deaths of Daniel Prude, Carol Goldstein's sister Susan Hyman, Liza Birdman, mother of Emilia Kaiserman, Bruce Greenberg, brother of Linda Winters, Susan Platt, mother of Linda Platt, and Les Abramovitz. Our community observes the yahrzeits, the anniversary of death, of Molly Barnett, Joan Baxter, Irving Berlowitz, Ruthie Burchard, Lois Bissett, Albert Brownstein, Aaron Buchman, Samuel Epstein, Elsa Fenster, Lillian M. Ford, Jenny Francis, Robert Froelich, Herman Ginsberg, Rose Hare, Sarah Herdefeld, Joyce Kuttner, Rose Lewis, Ruth Lewis, Esther Liff, Stephen Moss, Ruth Marcus, Frances Menon, Anna Novozenitz, Jacob Oxfeld, Milton Rapkin, Ruth Freiser, Bernard Resch, Rose Rose, Theodore Rothschild, Lucille Rutzberg, Lillian Gordon Schifrin, Phyllis Seidman, Hazel Silver, John Simonetti, and Sydney Yarmel. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chiroteh ve'amlich malchuteh, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehe shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudasha breichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehe shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. You may be seated. So a couple of announcements. As I mentioned before, this afternoon is our Torah service and study at 2 p.m. Tomorrow we have our second day Rosh Hashanah service at 10, returning to religious school on Wednesday at 4:30, along with Musar at 7, and this week's Shabbat with our regularly scheduled services and Torah study. Looking ahead to next week, Sunday, September 27th is our Kol Nidre service at 8 o'clock, but beforehand, you can bring your non-perishable goods for the Brighton food cupboard to the temple parking lot from 4 to 6 p.m. We're trying to collect more than our usual 2,000 pounds, so if you're able, please contribute. The next day, Monday the 28th, we will have Yom Kippur services and offerings throughout the day, including another contemporary service at 11:30. And we look ahead to Shabbat and Sukkot on October 2nd and 3rd. So all the information for all of the holidays, Shabbat, and more, you can also find on our website. I want to give a warm special thank you to our wonderful cantorial soloist Eva Regan and our fabulous musicians Greg Herman, Scott Bicknett, and Joel Kastner. You four have made this service so special, musical, and spiritual for all of us. Thank you also to our Torah readers this afternoon at 2 o'clock, to Alan Adar for sounding the shofar, for our temple office staff for all their preparation work, to Lindsay Hagan and Wendy Beller Madway and the entire Religious Practices Committee. Thank you to Pauline Rosenberg, Leah Sherman, Alana Dar for helping with the children's service, Marilyn Fenster, Rachel Greer, and Alex Reeder for the teen gathering. Thank you to Ellen Goldenberg and Lindsay Hagan for coordinating all the honors. And a huge thank you to Rick Rizzo and Bruce Dunn for their expertise with the extensive video needs this year. And thank you to all of you for joining with us in singing and praying this morning. We turn to the conclusion of our services with Yehi Ratzon, followed by a final shofar blast. Yehi Ratzon milpanecha, Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, shetechadesh aleinu shana tova umetuka. Our God and God of our ancestors, eternal God of all generations, may your presence in our lives this new year renew our spirits and renew our strength. May it be a good year. May it be a sweet year. Please rise for the final Tekiah Gedolah. Tekiah Gedolah.
and light.